Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Not so much to get through this week in terms of highlights, what with Team GB being away in Japan at the Olympic pre-qualification tournament. But don't worry, we've thrown an extra few goodies in just for your enjoyment. Here's what we've got coming up this week. We speak to GB's Danny Myers and Ashley Tate about the team's incredible win in Japan. The Steelers and the Panthers get it together, but this time on the golf course. And we've got 44 goals coming up from week 10 of the Elite League competition. Well, hello folks, and welcome to another week's highlights of the very best action from around the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League. As you'll see, I'm joined by Coventry Blaze forward and GB international Russ Cowley, and we'll talk about Coventry in a few moments' time, I'm sure, Russ, and we'll also talk about the knee injury that prevented you from being part of GB's trip to Japan. But by God, did the boys do a great job in your absence. They were outstanding. What a win to beat Japan in that final game.
Yeah, what an achievement. I mean, I was following it a little bit online where I could, because obviously the time difference, they were facing off at 5 in the morning, which made it just as hard, the fact that they flew out Tuesday. But what an achievement for, as I say, for British ice hockey, and I think it's been over 50 years since they made the Olympics, and this is one step closer and one step away. Had
to beat Korea, had to beat Romania, had to beat Japan. We were all a little bit kind of down on our luck a bit, weren't we, on Friday after the overtime loss against Korea, but boy did they battle back, the convincing win against Romania. But to beat Japan in Japan, that kind of achievement is incredible.
Of course, and I know we were talking earlier and said what an important point that Korea game was in the end. Obviously going to Japan and like you say, taking them on their turf, and also facing off again. I know I keep saying this, but you know, normally they would be asleep in bed, and they were facing off against Japan. So it's incredible, and by the sounds of it, it was a really good trip. And the one thing that's made GB over the last few years, it just seems that they've gelled so well, the spirit's so high, and I know I listened to Danny Myers speak about it, and that's one of the reasons it's brought success as well, and it's fantastic.
It has to be that though, doesn't it? Because the preparation is so poor for GB. Compared to Japan, together for 6 weeks, they reckon $2 million they spent on preparing for this tournament. They played 2 KHL teams the week before. GB kind of have to get together just because of the way the scheduling is, almost turn up and play.
Yeah.
How difficult is that for a player?
Well, I guess it's tough, but it just seems to me that all the players basically put it aside, because at the end of the day, that's what we have to work with, and we all know that. And you either, you go there, get the job done, or you can just sort of sit and look at what they've got and what we've got. But it's not the case for GB. The boys get there, they basically play to the systems, and it's proved to be successful, and we just get on with the job and get it done, and the boys obviously proved that out in Japan.
What a great job they did as well. Well, we caught up with Ashley Tate and Danny Myers just to ask for their reaction after that stunning victory against Japan.
Looking back at it, it was just an incredible time. We had a long time travelling out to Japan, as I'm sure you can imagine, and we had a tough game against Korea that first game, and we were really kind of finding our feet really, and we were very disappointed to lose in a shootout. We bounced back the next day against Romania, and then we knew that in order to qualify for the next round that we had to go through Japan and we had to win that final game. And it was pretty nervous. We were nervous for the game, but we were still very confident, and we'd won a number of big games in the previous seasons to know that going into that final game we could win. And we came out firing all cylinders, and we got an early 2-goal lead, and then after that we really battled for our lives.
You know, we came out of the blocks pretty hard, and we had a really good first period. Took a quick 2-goal lead, and then when you play 3-3, tiredness sets in a little bit, and we had to kind of deal with the onslaught for the last half of the game. But we got some great goaltending from Murph, and we saw it through.
If we were to make it through, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that it would be the greatest accomplishment of my career, and I'm sure I can speak on behalf of the rest of the players. We're so proud to represent our country. We're proud to play alongside each other. The team spirit that we have, as I said, is just absolutely incredible. And to make it through to the Olympics, I mean, it's not just the hockey player's dream, that's any sportsman's dream. And as seen in the Summer Olympics, you never know what can come of it when you have that Olympic inspiration, and that's certainly something that we're looking to carry forward. And if we were to make it through, it would be just such an incredible moment for all us players, but also ice hockey in the UK in general, for all the fans, for the owners, for the management, for everyone involved. The media would just be incredible. And if we were to pull it off, it would be amazing. But we should certainly savour what we've done so far, and let's hope it inspires us to the next level.
I think the words of Danny Myers then, excellent. I think it will inspire that next generation to make the Olympics. Congratulations to Tony Han, Doug Christensen and all of the players and the staff that were involved. What a trip to Japan. Time now though for Elite League action, and most of our action this week is going to be north of the border. We're going to start up in Glasgow. The Braehead Clan, a back-to-back weekend against the Edinburgh Capitals. Chris Ellis will talk you through this one.
Edinburgh's trip to Braehead was our first game of the weekend. In the first period, on the power play, Yarrelin to Hartman behind the net, and the player coach's centering feed deflected in off a D-man. 1-0 Edinburgh, 7:35 gone. Now Braehead outshot Edinburgh 12-3 in the first period, and this was an assist by Zemlak to Hansen right hand side, and then Haywood into the offensive zone, cuts inside, goes past a man, and 17:09 gone. A power play goal, that one. We're level at 1-1 after the first period. To period 2, where the Caps were outshot 14-5. Puck comes right hand side, and an instinctive one-time shot from Hansen. That one goes in. It is then Braehead 2, Edinburgh 1. Things continue to go Braehead's way. A nice goal here. Haywood left-hand side, drops it off for Goldie. He takes his time. He knows where he wants to put the puck. 3-1, second period lead. Into the third period, not so dominant in terms of shots on goal for Braehead, but they found their way into the back of the net time after time. Give Galbraith room like that, he scores. 49-42. The assist to player coach Kristanovic. Certainly Edinburgh totally on the back foot now. At the back door, Miller, Drew Miller, the EIHL, with his third goal of his Braehead career. That made it 5-1. The celebrations were to continue. And then just 1 minute and 30 seconds later, Sajak and Walker to McPherson. McPherson goes left-hand side. Lovely shot across the netminder and a terrific win. Braehead 6, Edinburgh 1.
Convincing victory there for the Braehead Clan. Offensively, they've got so many options, haven't they?
Yeah, Kristanovic is. It seems like he's put together a very offensive team this season, and they proved that with the amount of goals that they've scored. And obviously, right now, I guess he's looking to change things up, maybe with Chamont and Campbell. But they're obviously very good offensively. Yeah.
We talk about what Danny Myers was talking about earlier, the GB team, guys knocking on the door. Young Matt Haywood must be knocking on the door. It's his third year with the Clan. Him and Walker kind of went there together, and they're established stars of that team now. But I just see Haywood getting better and better nearly every time I see him play.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what's been so good, I believe anyway, with the Elite League, is that it's allowed British players to play, get more ice time. And Haywood, I remember him from the first year when Braehead obviously entered the league, and he was getting more responsibility from the day that he started up until this season, and he's getting more noticeable, he's getting better, and he's been given more responsibility by Kristanovic, so and he's taking it as well, and that's the main thing, so credit to him. When
Bruce Richardson took both of those players there, it's almost like, just fill me some minutes, get me main players off the ice for a while, can you fill me some minutes? But now both Walker and Haywood, they're actually contributing, they're on power plays there, they're actually, you know, playing with the senior players and not looking out of shape at all.
No, not at all, and it's key for them. You know, obviously, then when they enter the league, they might not have as much money to spend on players, and that's where you need your British players to step up and do a job and create some depth in the team. And with Walker and Haywood, they've done that.
Yeah, tip your hat to Matt Haywood. A great performance there against the Edinburgh Capitals. Time for a break now. When we come back, we'll be heading to Hull. They were taking on the Coventry Blaze, again, in back-to-back games last weekend. Hello and welcome to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Time for Challenge Cup action at the Hull Ice Arena, where the Stingrays were taking on the Coventry Blaze. You'll recall that last week, some say surprisingly, the Hull side beat out the Cardiff Devil for that final spot in the Challenge Cup group. Now they were looking for league positioning. Could they beat the Blaze? Chris Ellis will tell us.
There were 80 shots on goal in this Challenge Cup encounter, and the first goal went the way of the home side. Hand and Silverthorne with the assist. A good skate and finish there from Ozelins, a 12th of a great year for him, and the Hull Stingrays ahead in their own barn, 4:23 gone. Short-handed, a breakaway for Tendler, assist to Davis. So at 10:15, Hull Stingrays led by 2-0. Great finish on Hirsch there by Tendler, just really sends him the dummy, puts him on his backside, and it's 2-0. A scramble in front of the net, then began a bit of a free-for-all. This one threatened to get nasty. All sorts of players falling on top of each other, pushing and shoving. It didn't get any worse than that, thankfully, and that one just stayed at a few minor penalties, and it was just calmed down. Now, in period 2, this is a terrific goal from NHLer Matt Bileski. Reaches down on his body to get the puck and then skates towards the goal to get things back to 2-1. And then he scores again. 2 goals in 3 minutes. This one from right side, a rasping shot. We're level then. Power play goals have got Coventry back into the game. It's 2-2. Going to period 3 now. And it is the home side who are looking the stronger. That's a lovely skate from Davis, and at the back door he sets up Osman. It's 3-2. Terrific goal made by Davis. Power play goal as well. 1-goal game to the advantage of the Hull Stingrays. Of course, Greg Blaze played in goal for this one with Ben Bounds on international duty. He had a great game, and to wrap it up for the Stingrays, Osman at the back door to make it 4-2. That was the end of the scoring, so only 2 goals conceded on 48 shots for Blaze. That's a great way to make your first start of the year. Hull 4, Coventry 2.
Another 2 points then for the Hull Stingrays in their Challenge Cup group, and it's a tournament they're certainly enjoying, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. They've, going to their place, I think that's the first time we've been there this season, and the last couple of seasons they've proven to be a really good team, and this year's no different. I
was speaking with Coach Paul Thompson. He was telling me it was a little bit rumbustious in there. It was a little bit heated. I think the fans, perhaps with the links that Coventry and Hull have had in the past, it was getting a little bit fruity, shall we say?
I think so. As you know, obviously, and all the fans know that obviously the connection that we had with them over the last couple of seasons, and you know what, they've always played really hard in the last couple of seasons when we've been there, and as I say, on Saturday it seemed no different.
Seems they've got a better team this year, though, doesn't it? Because they've got scoring from a multitude of areas. We know Oslins is going to score. We know Tendler's going to score. Silverthorne's tripping in. And we're going to see a couple of goals that Osman scores a little bit later. They look a better balanced team than perhaps they have done in the past. Yeah,
it seems like they're sharing the responsibility, whereas, like you said, you know, Tendler and Silverthorne last year, I think, were their biggest offensive threat. But it seems that, you know, Osman's playing well. I think Davies, he's impressed me so far this season. And they're all working together and sharing the responsibility, so it's bringing them success. As we say, Osman got two players got a brace in that game, a cracking couple of goals from Bileski. Let's just turn ourselves around and see the goals. Bileski, he scored 2 crackers. This was the second. Yeah, I don't think any goalie in the league's going to stop that, and credit to Blaze, he had a really good weekend, but that's one hell of a one-timer. Yeah, and then we touched on Osman, didn't we? And he scores the 3rd and the 4th for Hull. Yeah, I mean, he got a nice bounce for that one, but the one that comes after this is a nice goal. Nice feed by Matt Davis. But yeah, with this one, I mean, going to the net, and when you go to the net, good things happen. And this one here, as you can see, a nice feed from Matty Davies. They seem to be connecting well, actually, this year, Davies and Osman. They do indeed. Very important win. We'll take a quick look at how the Challenge Cup groups stand, because all 8 quarter-final positions have now been resolved. Just a battling for positions. Let's take a quick look at the Challenge Cup groups. Braehead Clan lead the way, Belfast, Dundee and Fife, and then Sheffield, Coventry, Nottingham and Hull. There's a chance that the Hull Stingrays there, they could face probably Braehead or Belfast. Do you see Belfast as being the favourites in that northern group? Yeah, I think so. With 3 games remaining, it certainly looks like it's probably going to be the case. But other than that, a lot can happen in both Group A and Group B. Right. Whichever team does end up winning that Group A, they'll have to go to Kirkcaldy to take on the Five Flyers, and as Russ alluded to, not an easy place to have to go. Well, it's where Jeff Hutchins had to take his Dundee Stars last Saturday. It was a packed arena in Kirkcaldy, and what a game they had.
Five Flyers dominated the opening period against the Dundee Stars. They outshot the visitors 15-4. and they're on the power play midway through the first period. It was no surprise that they took the lead. Keister's pass, the shot from Keller, is tipped in by Haynes. A 10th goal of the year for him. Time of it 10:56. So it was Fife Flyers 1, Dundee Stars 0. But Dundee came back into the game, but not till the third period. Started off by Riopel and then Bowen. Ryan's pass is perfect, and then Bagran sets up Wirral. That is a lovely worked goal, and this one coming at 46-17 on the power play, so 1-1. Jeff Keister here shows his frustration, throws his glove, then picks up a chair and throws that one as well. And he gets thrown out of the game for good measure. Misconduct and then a game misconduct. So the game is ticking down now. We're in the final stages. Giveaway from the Flyers. It means Dundee can break. They've got an extra man, and at the back door, that extra man, Wirral, gets a 10th of the year. Bagran and Ryan in with the assists again, and the Stars score with just 56 seconds to go. 5-1, Dundee 2.
Showing that the Dundee Stars can win on the road as well as win at home, and it's a tough place to win, isn't it, Kirkcaldy?
Oh yeah, I remember it from the BNL days, and it was always good fun to go there. But yeah, their fans they're intense and they're big hockey fans, so it's certainly a test when you go there.
Every week we've done this show, we've talked about the conference system, and now there's more local derbies. But the more games for Fife they have against the likes of Dundee, Braehead, Edinburgh, the better. For the fans, you can see that building looks fuller and fuller every week. We show highlights from there. It's working for them, isn't it?
I think so. It makes sense from a business decision as well. I mean, they save obviously on travel costs and things like that. And like you say, local derbies, that's what fans want to see. And the Scottish teams have proven to be very good this year. A lot of one-goal games, whether they're playing out of conference or in conference. So I think it's really exciting this year.
Let's take a look at the goals from this game. Fife took that early advantage. In fact, the only goal they scored was in the first period.
Yeah.
A lot of traffic in front there. Nothing goalie could do, really.
That's key. On power plays, it's key that you can get traffic in front and make sure that he doesn't see the puck.
Now, Mike Wirral, when he was playing in Braehead last year, did you ever think this was a guy that's probably going to score 30 goals in a season?
No, I didn't, and it seems that that line, the three of them for Dundee, their first line there, they just seem to know each other so well, and that first goal he scored, they moved the puck incredibly well for it.
You have to give credit then to Jeff Hutchins, don't you? Because he obviously saw something in Wirral that nobody else saw. And I was surprised he never went back to Braehead, but I never thought in a month of Sundays that third week in November or second week in November he was going to be leading the league on 17 Elite League goals. Yeah,
I know. Credit to Hutchie for picking him up, and credit to Wirral for grasping the opportunity that he's been given by Hutchie. So and Ryan as well, I guess. You know, both of them, like I say, they kind of move the puck really well, and they're both in the scoring charts right up there.
Well done to everybody in Dundee, from Jeff Hutchins down. What a great job the Dundee side have done all the way through the start of this year. At the start of the season, and all the summer talk was about the Braehead clan running away with that Northern Division. Nobody was going to stand in their way, were they? Or were they? Have a look what happened on Saturday night at Edinburgh, a game that had huge ramifications on the 24 hours that followed it.
Going into this game, these two sides have met 4 times previously this season. 1 win for Edinburgh and 3 for Braehead. First period action, and defenceman Steve Burnstill turns defence into attack. A lovely solo goal, cuts inside, and the former Steeler puts the visitors on the board at 5 minutes and 10 seconds. Down the other end though, just past the midway point of the first period, all alone at the back door, Peter Haleko, a second of the year for him, and the home side are level in their own barn. A nice piece of juggling there out of the air from Drew Miller, and eventually the puck is set up for Goldie. Chamont with the other assist. That's a well-worked goal. 16-25. You may think Braehead are going in with a first period lead. Well, there's still time for 2 more goals in this period. Right-hand side, Edinburgh break, and Single gets goal number 2 for Edinburgh. 18-26 gone. We're level at 2-2. And a matter of seconds later, it's a giveaway by Braehead. It was pretty poor, and Zemberg's room in the slot. 58 seconds before the first break. Edinburgh lead by 3-2. A good turnaround for them. And then, where was Braehead's defence? They jumped up, and they left Hartman all alone, one-on-one, a 5th of the year for him at the start of period 2. It's 4-2. And then on the power play, Edinburgh have another chance. They had 36 shots on goal throughout this game. They seem to be scoring on most of them at the moment. Haleko there with a third of the year. That's 5-2, and that was the way they led at the end of the period. Now to the third period, and they're coming forward right-hand side. Steele and Hay get the assist for that one, and Hartman, 49-53 gone. It's 6-2, and it was the start of 3 goals in 98 seconds, which put paid to this game. It was goal number 7 for Single, and 8th of the year for him. This led to some changes for the Braehead clan. Ryan Campbell and Bobby Chameau shown the door by the club. Goal number 8 arrived through Yarrelin, 14th of the year for him. Absolutely thrilled. So Braehead were not going to come back into this one. They did, however, get a couple of goals back. First of all, Chaumont, one of his last things he did before his departure, at the back door. Goldie and Hayward with the assist on that one. That's 8-3, and there's still time for Chaumont to assist on the final goal. Hayward getting the other one right in front on the doorstep. Ash Goldie with his 2nd of the game and 10th of the year. Final score, Edinburgh 8, Braehead 4.
What a fantastic job by the Edinburgh Capitals, not just beating the Braehead clan, but absolutely giving them a bit of a kick in there as well. They never looked like they were losing that game.
Yeah, we were just talking earlier about there being 1-goal games up north, and that was probably the most wide open that we've seen yet. So
it's a tough place to go, Murrayfield, isn't it? It's wide open, but really nobody expected the Braehead clan to be beaten in that style.
No, that's right. Edinburgh do tend to play well at home, and it is a tougher place to go and play. But I mean, Braehead, obviously they're quite close, and you'd expect them probably to go there and sort of pick up the points.
Scoring goals hasn't been a problem for the Braehead clan. It's been at the back. You lose Drew Bannister, you lose Wedderburn, who I thought was marvellous as a defenceman, you lose Jorgensen. They haven't really replaced them with a real rock-solid, steady defensive defenceman. Yet, come Monday morning, it's 2 forwards that lose their jobs. Were you surprised that perhaps if a change was going to be made, it wasn't at the back end rather than up front?
Yeah, it makes me wonder whether he's going to... I mean, the Chaumont one kind of baffled me a little bit. I mean, I don't know what's obviously going on behind closed doors, but whether he's got something in the mix or up his sleeve or a different direction where he wants to boost the defence, I don't know. So it'll be surprising in the next week or two.
Campbell, no points in 12 games wasn't a surprise, but Chaumont, 10 goals, that is a surprise, isn't it, to lose the job?
Exactly, and that's it. And like I say, that brings me to think that either there's something has happened maybe behind closed doors, I don't know. I did see a tweet from Chaumont during the week that said something to the fans about "you got your wish." So I don't know what that was about. I don't know if you heard anything, Dave, but
I think sometimes fans can influence owners, can't they? And sometimes you read forums or get on Twitters and Facebooks, and sometimes that can influence people. Chaumont's move was a surprising one, but folks, don't be surprised if Bobby Chaumont ends up somewhere in Scotland, because just as we were going on air, we both heard that Chaumont might end up with the Five Flyers. Maybe short term because Danny Stewart's injured, but maybe long term. Hey ho, we'll wait and see. More after the break, all the fixtures to look forward to, and our final section of highlights, so don't you go anywhere. Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Straight into our next game, and as I said earlier, back-to-back action between the Hull Stingrays and the Coventry Blaze. We're at the Skydome Arena. Saturday, that was Challenge Cup. Sunday, that was Elite League.
Hull Stingrays won the Challenge Cup meeting between the two sides the previous night, so chance for Coventry to make amends, and they started well. Just 2:25 on the clock when Olsen and Venus combined to set up Sam Smith for his first Coventry Blaze goal. But Olsen then got involved in a tangle, and he went toe-to-toe with number 44 of the Stingrays, Ryan Hamd. Didn't quite see all that fight. He's certainly fired up, is Ryan Hamd. Two linesmen there get in, James Kavanagh and Lee Young, they step in between. But two guys that, like a tussle, go toe-to-toe. Face-off win there for Bolesky, straight to Guthrie. That is a great goal for the Blades, and 6:51 gone. They're leading by 2-0. That was the score at the end of the first period. So to period 2, 5-on-3 power play time for the visitors now. And Dooley and Silverthorne get the assists, and Osman there with the goal, and 11th of the season. That's 2-1 then at the end of 2 periods. So to period 3. And the visitors coming forward. But Coventry thought they were going to clear their lines. But look at this, a giveaway. And then you have Lovedow and Silverthorne with the chances in front of net there. And they go a-begging. And the Stingrays miss the chance to level. So to period 3 for Coventry, and chances for them. This one for Cameron. And then there was push and shove in front of the net. Greg Blaze, the Hull backup, and Sam Smith getting involved there. A couple of players paired off, but no punches were thrown and no harm done. Final score, Coventry 2, Hull Stingrays 1.
A big victory at home then for the Coventry Blaze, reversing Saturday night's loss to the Hull Stingrays. You got off to a flyer, didn't you, on Sunday?
Yeah, it was a couple quick goals for us. And at that point, you kind of think that things are going to steadily go your way and you might get a couple more and kind of put the game to bed. But that wasn't the case. Their goalie played well. The first goal for us, obviously, was Smith, and it was nice to see him
get his first of the year. He came with such a high hopes and expectations, didn't he, from Cardiff? He's such a big, strong lad who people expected to perhaps break into double digits, but it's taken him a while to get the monkey off his back.
Yeah, I think when you haven't scored for maybe a little period of time, you start gripping the stick a little harder, and maybe you start doing things that you wouldn't do otherwise. Your confidence drops. And it's nice, as I was talking to him after the game, and he said they seem to come in bunches for him, so hopefully that's the case, and hopefully that goal boosts his confidence and he starts shooting the puck and being direct.
By 7 minutes, you were 2-0 up against the Stingrays. As we say, Guthrie got another goal. He's kind of just carried on where he left off last season. He's got to be one of the league's top players, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's crucial for us. I mean, he leads by example in the way he plays. He did that last year, pardon me, and this year he's like you said, he's basically taken off where he left off. And he's great to have, and I think it was the right decision by Tomo to make him captain, because, like I said, he grabs games sometimes when they're kind of getting away from you and pulls them back in, which is kind of what he did against Hull on Sunday.
We showed Osman, didn't we, scoring 2 goals on the Saturday night. He got a third of the weekend against you. Is it me, or is he scoring a little bit more this year than he did last year? Last year it was a bit part player. This year he seems to be very comfortable in Hull and taking the reins almost.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I was saying earlier to you, Dave, I think he's linking up pretty well with Davies on a line there. And they actually played short on the weekend too, because they lost Ozilin. So people like Osman are stepping up and helping out and contributing in games, and that's what he's done this weekend.
We talked about Haywood, didn't we, in Braehead. Davies would be another example of those lads breaking through. The other Davies, who I really like in Cardiff, Ben Davies, but Matt Davies in Hull. Again, the same kind of thing. They're breaking through. They're knocking on that door, aren't they?
Yeah, they're getting more responsibility. Klutz has obviously built Davies up to what he is now, and he can play in any position, whether it's, like you say, power play, penalty kill, and the top 2 lines. He can hold his own, and that's what he's been doing, especially with the likes of Ozelin's not being there. He's certainly proved his worth.
Matt Davies to Ben Davies. We'll go from the Skydome Arena in Coventry to the big blue tent in Cardiff, where Ben Davies' side, the Devils, were taking on the Five Flyers. They were still a little under strength. They'd still got guys out suspending following the brawl against the Coventry Blaze a couple of weeks ago. Let's see how they got on. Chris Ellis will talk you through it.
There was a special night in Prospect at the Big Blue Tent as NHL Paul Bissonnette made his home debut. Already 2 goals to his name. More from him later, but the first goal of the night comes for Piggott. A first of the year for him, made possible by a great skate from Davis. 7:41 gone then, the home side ahead. On the power play, once again, Davis involved. This time, he jumps onto a rebound to score his 4th goal of the year. The assist that time going to Mackenzie and Didiamiti. 11:44 gone, it's 2-0 to the home side. There was still time for more goal-scoring action. Very strong work on the left-hand side from the Devils, and Adam shoots, and it's tipped in there by Blight. A 7th of the year for him. So 3-0 is the first period lead. Even though the shots on goal were level at 8 apiece, it was very much Cardiff in control. The Flyers came back in terms of chances, although they struggled to find the back of the net throughout. There you see Jason Pitton with a chance in front of the net, but finding no way through the impressive Phil Azur. Chances continued to go Cardiff's way. They had 33 throughout the course of the night. And again, strong work on the boards from them. Just in the left-hand corner, it was loose, and Bissonnette steps out in front. But the save is made there by Brian Pitton to keep the scoreline at 3-0. There was still time, though, in the third period. Short-handed McRae to Bissonnette. He scores his third goal in as many games. And there was a 24-shot shutout for Phil Azur. Final score, Cardiff 4, 5-0.
3 goals in 3 games then for the Phoenix Coyotes' Paul Bissonnette. He's had an impression on the Cardiff Devils. He gets off a plane, he hasn't played for 4 or 5 months, and all of a sudden he's getting a goal a game.
Yeah, absolutely. He's done incredibly well so far. And for him, I know that one of the reasons why he wanted to come was to get more responsibility than he would in the NHL. And he's proven to take his chances.
That Cardiff Devils side, again, we talk about the Davises and the Haywoods. Young Piggott steps up. We're going to see all the goals in a minute. But Cardiff's a team that has got that steady backflow of talent just breaking through again, hasn't he?
Yeah, Jared's done a really good job since he took over. And Davies last year really impressed me. And it's kind of the same case as Haywood and Matt Davies in the fact that every year he's kind of had more responsibility. And I think that last year he really improved, and he's kind of followed it on this year.
That big ice at Kirkcaldy going to that small ice at Cardiff. We'll see these 4 goals now that 5 conceded, but it looked to me like it was a very comfortable victory for Cardiff. Let's first of all talk about this first goal, though. What a super finish by young Piggott. Not something you'd expect.
Wow. I mean, yeah, he just stepped into it, put everything into it, and top corner. What a goal.
What a great goal. Super finish from the chap. And then we see our mate Davies, and he gets an important second.
Yeah, he's you know what, he's small, wiry, fast, and he's hard to contain, and he picked up a loose puck there.
No disrespect to G, but the goalie had won that one back, I think.
I think it actually looked like it took a deflection, so I think it kind of misled him a little bit, but absolutely.
In our highlights, we saw Bissonnette had 2 or 3 goes, but he eventually gets his goal. He's such a big man, a presence in front, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. He's, big men in front of the net. They're tough to move, and it was a nice shot actually posting in. Yeah,
when you see Cardiff play that way, and when they really get it going, especially at home, that is the most difficult building. I know every week we say, it's really tough going to Kirkcaldy, it's really tough going to the NIC in Nottingham. But I think when Cardiff play well at home, that probably is the toughest building to go to, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The last few seasons, you might have seen Cardiff not do so well against the team in their building on the road, and then at home they kind of shut them out and win by sort of a 4 or 5 goal margin, and it is tough. Any player that doesn't play there will tell you the same thing. It's small and it's tough.
It is indeed. Right, time for a break. When we come back, we've got Dundee versus Edinburgh and Sheffield versus Nottingham. You didn't realise Sheffield were playing Nottingham last week, did you? This was in the Grudge Cup. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League highlight show here on Sky Sports. Well, with Team GB being away in Japan at the Olympic pre-qualification tournament, it meant a free weekend for the Sheffield Steelers and the Nottingham Panthers. But rather than hit the beach in Benidorm, they hit the golf course at Sherwood Forest. All in the name of charity, of course. It was a cold morning as players, coaches and fans gathered at Sherwood Forest Golf Club for the inaugural Grudge Cup. The battle lines had been drawn, the weapons of choice selected, but as the teams prepared to tee off, it was clear that some of the players felt a bit out of their comfort zone.
I'm always nervous, Dave. That's what I'm all about. No, it should be fun. It's for a good cause. I don't know how I'll play, but hopefully it'll be fun.
I understand you hit the ball a mile, but the putting's a little suspect.
I don't know if it's a little, it's very suspect. If I get anywhere close, I'm pretty happy.
Roddy, you should be in Japan, but instead you're out here playing golf. Climate's a bit different.
Yeah, it's a bit chilly out here. I could be enjoying a sushi breakfast, but no, I'm on the cold links, but should be all right today, I think.
Have you chosen a good team? Have you got a good full ball there?
It's a lot of unknown elements, I think, and I think I might be the biggest question mark on the card, but I think we got one ringer in the group, so hope he's got big shoulders.
Yeah, it's a good cause though, isn't it? And everybody seems to be having a good time here.
Yeah, already it's been a few laughs off the first tee, and I'd expect one more here.
18 holes beckoned, and so the Grudge Cup began. The Nottingham Panthers contingent were led by Jordan Fox and had a very confident start to the day. The Steelers, meanwhile, were in the hands of captain Jeff Legui. Both sides were joined by some of their biggest fans who got the opportunity to caddy for their favourite players, whilst others played alongside them. As the lights slipped away and the temperatures dropped, all involved couldn't get back to the clubhouse fast enough. Everybody coming off says Corey Nelson's just been hitting the ball well today, right down the middle, and have you just seen it at 18?
Yeah, I did hit a couple good drives. Just again, can't putt. Terrible.
How was the day in the hole?
A lot of fun. Great team. We had a lot of fun out there, and it was a good day overall.
Jordan Fox in there, your captain, he's hoping that the Panthers have done enough. Did you score fairly well as a team?
I think we did. We had a lot of pars, and a few birdies out there, but mostly pars.
And all in all, it was a fun day. You know, it was good to see, meet a couple guys from the other team and get out with the fans and do something for charity. It was nice.
Yeah, did you have some good holes out there you can tell us about?
Unfortunately, no. No, I had a bad day today.
And some of your teammates pulled you through?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the young guy in our group, he's only 14. He's I think 4 handicap. He shot the lights out today. He was really good.
Pretty cold, pretty dark out there, but a good round.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun today. The weather wasn't the best, but considering we all had a laugh and we played some decent golf as well.
One of the things coming out from most of the guys is just how much banter and how much good time it is, and it's good when the two biggest clubs in the land that are so fierce rivals off the ice can get together and do something like this.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, over the course of my career, you'll meet guys where, off the ice you don't mind them at all, and then as soon as they're on the ice, you absolutely hate them. But that's just the beauty of the game, just lots of passion, and it's nice to play out here.
Time for a brandy, I think, Tyler.
Oh, I need one.
So with brandies on the go, the scores were revealed. It was the Sheffield Steelers team that took victory with a score of 391 to the Nottingham Panthers 381. However, despite the competitive atmosphere, both sides joined together to celebrate the day's finest achievement. Over £1,000 raised for Nottingham's breast cancer research appeal. What a great day was had by everybody involved. Congratulations to all who did so well for charity. Right, let's head back to more hockey action and to Dundee. This was game 10 at home for the Dundee Stars. In the previous 9, the Stars are unbeaten in regulation. They've won 7 and only lost 2, 1 in overtime and 1 in a penalty shot shootout. It's the best home record in the Elite League. How would the Edinburgh Capitals fare? Let's have a look. Chris Ellis will talk us through it.
Dundee protecting the best home record in the Elite League, and they certainly know how to win games at home, and often by just 1 goal. They certainly have been the specialists in terms of narrow scorelines in front of their own fans and finding a way to win. Action with the gloves off here. We have Joel Gattushi of Edinburgh against Vince Conan of the Dundee Stars. This one doesn't last long, but the two of them do go toe-to-toe and exchange a few punches for a short while. Now, in the first period, we saw Edinburgh get the first goal of the evening. Zenko and Sembergs get the assists on this one. It's just patiently worked well before the shot from the point, and it is on the rebound Neil Hay with his second of the year. 1-0 Edinburgh then, and that's the way it stayed at the end of the first period. Into period 2, and Dundee looking to find a way back into the game, but in fact it was Edinburgh who scored the period's first goal. Yarrelin, just 56 seconds into period 2. So Dundee 0, Edinburgh 2, and that impressive home record is just looking a long-distance statistic at the moment. Bowen, though, gets the goal back. Hutchins and Wirral with the assist, advancing right side. Lovely, perfect finish. You see that on the replay. So 32-14 gone. Back in the game, the Dundee Stars. But Edinburgh came back again. Left-hand side. Into the offensive zone they come. 2 attempts for Zembergs on net. A 6th of the year for him. And at 28.09. 3-1 Edinburgh. They're well placed to win in the Dundee Ice Arena. But look, there's chance and there's time for Dundee to come back. Player coach Jeff Hutchins with his first of the year. 28-35. That makes it a 1-goal game. Just getting it there, right under Hardlowski to make it. Dundee well back with things going their way. And then on the power play, Ryanen and Bagran get the assists here. It's loose, it's on the doorstep, and Baxter gets the 5th goal of the year. So we are level at 3-3, and Dundee have come back, and the home fans are the ones celebrating. But it was a yo-yoing game, and Edinburgh were to come back. Lovely skate, right-hand side and into the offensive zone. Dobrin and Single were key to this goal, and Heleko getting a 4th of the year. So 4-3, 52 gone. But Dundee needed a hero. They needed someone to find a way to get back into the game. Again, it was a scramble in front of the net, and then it came out to the slot, and Sami Ryanen, the man who's leading the league in points, he scored an 11th of the year. And we are now going to the closing stages. In fact, we're into the final minute. What a debut here for Tim Krause, the new signing. He is about to score the game-winning goal. What a moment for him. A lovely move with the pass from Bowen after a poor line change. So Dundee get the winner with 53 seconds to go. Stars 5, Edinburgh 4.
Congratulations to the Dundee Stars. They've done it again. They do it in the last minute. That's when you know it's going for you, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. They've had a good season to date, and I guess for them, credit to Hutchie, and I guess for them it's about making sure that they continue to do this for the rest of the season.
They did it the hard way, didn't they? That third period was a busy period. We're going to get all the goals from that third session to look through again. But when you have that confidence of winning games, and as we said, they'd won 9 of their previous games.
Right.
When you come into that, you then have that confidence in the last 5 minutes that we're going to tie this, we're then going to go on and win it, and that's what they did.
Absolutely. They've got, like you say, confidence is key. And as a team, they have that right now, and whether they're behind or in front, they're finding ways to either see the game out, or if they're behind, they're finding ways to get it done and win. The
Edinburgh Capitals, they've won 2 of their last 5. They're picking points up. They haven't lost touch at the bottom of the league. They're still in there. There's plenty of hope there for them. They've got the offence, haven't they, to score?
Yeah, they do. And as I say, they always seem to play well at home, and that's where they pick up most of their points. And they find a way on the road at times too. So they're going to keep chipping away at teams. And I think that you can't take a night off against any of the teams in the league this year, and Edinburgh are proving that case as well. So.
You can't indeed. Well, you've seen all the highlights. Now let's see all the results. Just to recap from around the Rapid Solicitors Elite Ice Hockey League. It started, of course, last Friday with the Braehead Clan beating out the Caps by 6-1. On Saturday, the Edinburgh Capitals over the Braehead Clan 8-4. Five Flyers 1, Dundee Stars 2, and Hull Stingrays 4, the Coventry Blaze 2. On Sunday evening, the Cardiff Devils 4-0 over the Five Flyers, and Coventry 2-1 over the Hull Stingrays. Dundee Stars 5, the Edinburgh Capitals 4. And then the game on Tuesday night, a big victory up in Kirkcaldy, 5-4, Hull Stingrays 3. We wish Danny Stewart all the best. He's picked up a concussion following that game. The two conferences, well, not a lot of movement in the Erdart Conference, with very few games played over the weekend. Sheffield still lead the way, Belfast with 2 games in hand, and Cardiff, Nottingham and Coventry, any one of those 5 teams could win that conference. Dundee lead the way, 2 points ahead of the Braehead Clan. None of us thought we'd be saying that 3 months ago. Congratulations again to the Ward brothers and everybody in Dundee. Braehead, Hull, Edinburgh and Fife, add all that together and this is what you get. The Belfast Giants lead the way at the top of the league, and down at the bottom, Fife and Edinburgh chasing the Hull Stingrays for that final playoff position. Any surprises there in that league standings? I guess the Braehead Dundee one is the one that we wouldn't have guessed back in September.
Yeah, it? Definitely. I mean, there was obviously a lot of controversy in the summer with the 2 different conferences, and I think this year it has helped. I think that come maybe more towards Christmas time and maybe just after, you might see a little bit more movement and teams maybe pulling away. But I think it's been tremendous so far in terms of how close the teams are.
Well, the international break, as we've touched on throughout the show, meant there was very few games last weekend. This weekend, loads of games. Here they all are for you to take in. Let's start on Saturday. Our first fixture sees the Hull Stingrays taking on the Belfast Giants, 6:30. Braehead versus Coventry at 7. Pressure on Kristanovic and his team in Braehead. Dundee versus the Cardiff Devils, 7 o'clock face-off. Can Cardiff become the first team to win in regulation in Dundee? And the Battle of Edinburgh, Fife versus the Edinburgh Capitals, a 7:15 face-off in the Gardner Conference. Jump forward to Sunday, the Sheffield Steelers taking on the Fife Flyers. That game is at Sheffield at 6 p.m. Edinburgh versus the Hull Stingrays. Coventry versus Nottingham. And Cardiff versus Belfast. Two crackers in the Erdart Conference to finish off with. You'll be able to see all the goals, all the highlights, the hits and all the action this time next week. On Sky Sports 4 on Friday, the show starts at 10 p.m. But if you miss it, then remember it's on at Sky Sports 3 at 2 p.m. on Saturday. So two great chances to see that show. Well, all that remains now is for me to thank Russ. Just a quick one before we go. The knee, how is it, and how long before you're back in that Coventry uniform?
It's going well. Rehab's going really well. We've got a good medical team in Coventry, and they're working really hard with me. And I, to be honest, I hope to be skating in the next week or two, and then we'll see how it reacts and go from there. Yeah,
big game, isn't it, on Sunday for you boys against the Nottingham Panthers?
Absolutely. Always, whether we go there or they come to us. They're always big games, and I just hope that we come out on top.
Well, we wish you all the very best. Folks, we say it every week, don't we? As good as this show is, and as good as seeing all the highlights are, it's fantastic. It's much better in real life. You've seen the fixtures. Please go and take in an Elite League game. It's much better in real life. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next Friday.